welcome down third base side post game. Whoa. It's entirely different time of day this time for Coach's Report, but once again joined by Coach BJ Johnson post-game after a dominant win against Falmouth. Coming back to you with the Coach's Report. Basically the same kind of stuff, Coach BJ. Back here after a tie last night, a shortened tie game coming out, dominating a Falmouth team that's been really hot. Tonight has really epitomized a lot of what the last 10 games have really been, hasn't it?
I think absolutely. I think this is maybe one of our, if it's not our most dominant win, I think it's one of our most dominant wins. Last night was, you can kind of look at it both ways. It's kind of like a very big disappointment. In some cases, it feels like a loss, but we actually kind of caught a break on the double play ball. So in some ways, it feels like we escaped something. So it happened. And anyway, tonight was a great bounce back. And we were hot from the beginning. Cam's home run in the first. We got another one from Nick. Our pitching was great. I'm really happy about the ball game. Really happy.
Yeah, overall, a really, really great win. Coach BJ just mentioning Cam Smith hitting a ball over that left center field fence, 398 to basically the deepest part of the park. And now Nick Mychal showing off his power. Nicky Bombs has arrived, hitting his first home run over the scoreboard out in right field. Power is becoming a little bit of the name of the game here after we didn't see too much of it earlier in the season.
Well, I think the guys have settled into, now you start to see the club that we've got, and we were talking about it after the game. These are the guys that you're going to ride out the rest of the season with. They've got they've made their adjustments. They're starting to figure things out, or more than starting to figure things out. And some of these guys have amazing pop. That thing, I think if it hit Judy's scoreboard, it may have come down. It was hammered. It was hammered.
They're hitting the ball really well. You mentioned something just now about something that I have figured to look a lot better over the last 10 games. Defensive fundamentals have looked real good. We saw 2 clean double plays tonight from Elijah Hainline and John Gazdar, and you talked about the double plays last night. That's something I've wanted to see the team clean up a little bit, and now it's really showing. A lot of clean showings, and even when there aren't 1 or 2 clean showings, the offense still comes through. But overall, really, really good work on improving from the defense. You said you wanted that to improve last time on Coach's Report.
Absolutely, and I think that has happened. There were 2 really, if you think about it from even last night, that got us out of a game, or at least where we tied, really slick double play from 1 to 6 to 3. And then the double plays tonight got us out of some jams where maybe we walked a guy or gave up a couple hits. So all that kept it to where it was really a dominant win for the Hawks. And it feels really good going into an off day. It's a much-needed off day. And we'll have some fun tomorrow, though, too. We've got, I think, a community deal that we're going to do. We're going to have – this is the big deal. Oh. This is the Major Putter Golf Challenge. And this is something that's huge. And let me tell you, it's highly competitive. Whoa. There are winners, there are losers, there are consequences. We are very excited about it.
Well, so am I safe in assuming Pirates Cove? Is that going to be the destination tomorrow?
You know what? I think we'll just kind of keep it kind of a secret.
Sure.
I think you're probably maybe on the right track, but I don't know. We haven't lined that up yet. We've just lined up the time slot, and the good thing is generally I get to be the first captain to pick, so I'm excited about that. Normally I'm making the wrong pick, though, which is not good.
All right, you don't have Jay Driver to choose from anymore, the professional mini golfer out here, two-year vet.
Yeah, I made a mistake there. I picked Wes Burton, and I also picked Riku, and that was a major problem. So I had to bail out everything from the thing. But the good news was I got him laughing because I brought my own putter out.
Whoa, your own putter? My gosh, dedication out here to the mini golf game. So let's reel in a little bit. I do want to talk about that in a little bit after. But we went through your players who you were impressed by last week, both on offense and on pitching. We're going through it again. So let's get your first offensive guy. That's our first thing to give you some time to think about the pitcher.
First offensive guy again. Nick, now I said him second, so I'm going to say him first this time. He just continues to impress me. And he's our leadoff guy. He's really settled into that role, and for him to end up hitting a bomb, tonight is really good because it's like power, it's contact, it's everything going on. Of course, you can't take away from the other guys. And I'll tell you another guy who's doing a great job is absolutely Zach Earhart is doing a great job. key double tonight. I was kind of laughing with him. I said, why don't you get one off the B&B sign? Well, anyway, I told him, you missed a sign.
Yeah.
And he was going like, what? I missed a sign? I said, no, you missed the B&B sign, you idiot. So anyway, he did a great job.
Yeah, Zach Earhart's been a guy, he started slow but has really, really come into his own. The same with Nick Mychal.
Great player. They're both great players, and I mean, if you're going to go with York, I mean, what the guy's a professional hitter. I mean, what are you going to do?
You and I have been talking about Zach York now in his 10th game, hitting the cover off the ball. I'll tell you this one, we talked about it earlier. He's only swung and missed now with the swing and miss tonight only 5 times this entire stretch of 10 games, only swinging and missing on a strikeout twice as well.
And it might have been, 2 or 3 times tonight. When you mentioned that, I went like, hey, he swung and missed at a couple of these things. I'm going like, that's interesting. I haven't seen that happen. Yeah. But he's very, very good. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't even matter now that I've watched him what count he's in. I mean, you normally think, oh, gee, he took a couple pitches. He's 0-2. This is going to be a struggle. No, I'll just rip one through the left side, and, okay, we'll get a RBI or a base hit. He did great. He did great.
It's so tough, these questions about who you think is so good on both sides of the ball, because it's really been everybody. But now we've spoke about Nick Mychal in the leadoff spot, a deserving home run here tonight against Falmouth for the fruits of his labor. Talking about Zach York as well as Zach Earhart. Zach Squared really coming through as well. Now let's go to the pitching side. I mean, you could even go with the pitching staff as a whole at this point. This just the whole staff just being strikeout machines.
Yeah, I'll probably do that, but I think the one thing that would be really, really important is, and I'm not going to say that it's probably his best outing ever, but Hayden Frank is so competitive and just so important as far as giving you, if you get a good start in this league, I think I said it before, you have a chance. And particularly when we scored early, which we weren't doing earlier in the season, we score early, we get a lead, we have a dominant pitching performance, and we turn it over to our relievers, and Collar was great, D was great. I love getting some of the other guys out there. We got Lanthy out there because he hadn't been pitching in a while. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that was probably his most crisp outing, but we got him out there, and so that's really important for the future.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Ethan Lanthier in about 2 weeks. We last saw him July 5th at YD.
He disappeared. I don't know where he went.
I'm not sure many of us do. Yeah. And you just talked about how the offense giving you a chance. That allows Lanthier to come into that situation very low leverage. He's a bit colder, and he comes back in having absolutely nothing to worry about and throws a nice fine one inning. Absolutely. Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't even worry about him in many situations except for the fact that maybe he hadn't thrown so much. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, when this guy gets locked in, I don't think you're going to have much of a chance against him. I don't think you are, Yeah, absolutely. So we were just speaking right as we were off air about how a 3-game win streak, then you lose to Katuitt, a 4-game win streak, you tie last night on the road. Tough to go on the road as well. Sure. And then now you come back here against a really hot Falmouth team and put in one of the most complete performances of the year into a well-deserved off day. You kind of mentioned about what you guys were going to do for the off day, but it almost feels like we haven't had a scheduled one in quite some time. So nice to be able to have the guys going into a day with an off day mindset. Absolutely. No, I think that's great. And we really are playing our best baseball. It's the guys that are here now that will take us in the rest of the way. And love these guys, love their competitiveness, love the way that they buy in. As Coach Beatty will say a bunch of times, I mean, the thing it's hard to win in this league. A lot of guys are very, very, very close on talent level and whatever ends up happening. So if you get into a stretch where it's a really good stretch, ride it. Absolutely, and Hawks have been flying high and riding on it. And last thing before we sign off, we'll do another coach's report after the All-Star game. Got a few All-Star games. A few All-Star Game selections, and in Cam Smith, Cam and Brody are going to be producing in the Home Run Derby. Is that going to be something you're going to be out there watching? Yeah, I might. We were laughing about it. We were trying to do it as kind of a squad and saying, well, who would they want to throw? And obviously the major question, the major answer about that is, of course, they'd want me to throw because I'm significantly better at it. Oh, of course. Than Drew Earhart is. But, I mean, he's going the other way on me, and that's probably a major controversy. We're going to have to get somebody else to throw. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to be throwing him as many home run balls as you are. That's what I know. You're definitely the best thrower.
Oh, I've been used to giving up a lot of home runs in my career. Believe me, I'm very, very good at it. Very good.
I think all of us are too, to be honest with you. Well, that'll do it from the side underneath the third base dugout here at McKeon Park. BJ Johnson joining me for Coach's Report. Mychal Kersting. See you after the All-Star break, everybody.